The Enigmatic Whispering Oak. Deep in the heart of Black Hollow Forest stood an ancient oak tree, its gnarled branches stretching toward the sky like skeletal fingers. The townsfolk of Eldermere called it the Whispering Oak. They warned their children to stay away, whispering stories of strange disappearances and eerie sounds that floated from the tree on windless nights. Amelia, a curious teenager, found the stories hard to believe. One crisp autumn afternoon, driven by boredom and a desire to prove the old legends wrong, she ventured into the forest with her sketchbook. The oak loomed ahead, its bark dark and twisted, its roots bulging out of the earth like veins. As she approached, the air grew colder. Leaves rustled, though there was no breeze. Amelia hesitated, then shook her head. "It's just a tree," she muttered. She sat at the base of the oak and began sketching. The forest was silent, save for the faint scratching of her pencil. As she worked, she noticed a peculiar detail. Faces seemed to form in the bark. Grotesque, screaming faces, their eyes hollow and mouths twisted in silent agony. A shiver ran down her spine, but she forced herself to keep drawing. Then she heard it, a low, mournful whisper. "Help us!" Amelia froze, her heart pounding. She glanced around, but she was alone. The whisper came again, louder this time. "Free us!" The voices seemed to rise from the very roots of the oak. Terrified but intrigued, she leaned closer, pressing her hand against the rough bark. It felt unnervingly warm, like living flesh. Suddenly, the ground beneath her began to tremble. The roots of the oak twisted and writhed, wrapping around her ankles. Amelia screamed, struggling to break free, but the tree's grip was too strong. The faces in the bark contorted, their mouths opening wider as if drawing in her terror. "You came to listen," the voices chorused, now a cacophony. "Now you will stay." With a final desperate scream, Amelia was pulled into the oak's twisted trunk. The bark sealed behind her, leaving no trace of her passing. The forest grew silent once more. Days later, a search party combed the woods but found no sign of Amelia. Only her sketchbook lay at the base of the old oak, open to a chilling drawing of the tree with one new face etched into its bark, a face frozen in eternal horror. From that day on, the whispers grew louder. The townsfolk avoided the forest altogether, but late at night, those who dared venture close swore they heard Amelia's voice, calling for help from the depths of the Whispering Oak. And so the tree stood, waiting for the next curious soul to listen. Subscribe for more.